Hey, what's going on, everybody? James here, your ABX audiophile. Today we are going to be doing a early impressions. I'm not going to do a review yet, but if you didn't watch our review of the Radiant Acoustics Clarity 6.2 speakers, go check that one out. That was a really cool speaker. We had that thing around to so many people in our Pacific Northwest crew. They reached out and asked us if we wanted to review the 4.2s, which is their little small little brother. So we've got those behind us. You can see them there. And like I said, this isn't going to be a review, but we're right in the middle of the break-in process. We've had these things for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, pretty much running them 24 hours a day, spending, 3 to 4 hours kind of listening to them each day, kind of diving into them, switching them around some of our gear that we have. You know how we do here at ABX. We really spend a lot of time with stuff and really take our due diligence and rotate it through a bunch of different gear. So anyway, I'm going to disconnect this phone here because I don't have my studio set up. So everything I'm shooting is just with my nice little iPhone 15 and some lighting, which if you guys watched my reference review, you'd see all the room here. But I'm going to undo this, spin it around. I'm going to show you these speakers. I'm going to give you my initial impressions prior to the review because I think these are pretty cool and I want to talk about them. So here we go. All right, so I've got the chair pulled out of the way. I sit right there and do my reviews. Here's the little tripod I use just to hold my little camera. But let's go take a look at these things. They're super freaking teeny. If you looked at the 6.2s that we did, they are a much larger speaker. They took up all of that space on top of this rack when we had them at our old place. But essentially, almost identical twins other than size. And I haven't dug in enough of these speakers to kind of really know exactly what the crossover differences and stuff like that is. But I can tell tonally they sound very similar to the 6.2s. And there's some things that I actually like better about this 4.2 than I do the 6.2s. Of course, we'll talk about that in the review, but I wanted to give you guys an initial rundown of what we've done so far. We're running the same, front end that I always run here. We've got the PS Audio front end, the DSD DirectStream Mark II AirLens, and then my phono stage. Unfortunately, these are about 70-ish dB sensitive, so they take a pretty good amount of power to drive. So unfortunately, my 9-watt Dolce Audio front end doesn't really cut the mustard in this case. But we broke out the Pass Labs Integrated 60, which is about a $10,000 integrated amplifier. So plenty up to the job to run the Radiant Acoustics here. We also, I'll swing you around here. We also ran them out here in the secondary system. Hello, Baffles. We also ran them out here in the secondary system with the $4,500 Atoll SDA200 integrated amplifier. That, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been a while, 150 watt Class AB integrated amplifier with a Class A output, beautiful streamer, and a Burr Brown DAC. They performed really nicely in that space. And I'm just going to tell you guys one thing. This is a teaser. These things center image almost like nothing I've ever heard. The ability that these speakers have to suspend the center image way back into the soundstage at super low volumes was really impressive. It just absolutely boggled my brain how quiet I could get this speaker, even with how much low sensitivity it is and how much power it needs. I was able to get it really low volumes, almost to where everything else was disappearing, but that center image was still hanging out there with us. So anyway, keep an eye out for our review. It should be coming out pretty soon. We're going to mess around with these for a while, but man, $3 a pair, and center imaging monsters, very well blended. And like I said, there are some things I like about the 4.2 better than I do the 6.2. So anyway, stay tuned. All right, so that was just a really quick rundown of these speakers. But yeah, man, I'm finding a lot of what I liked about the 6.2s. You know, just the ultra quiet, inky, quiet background. It's so dark back there. You know, the layering, the separation, the ability for these things to just kind of suspend the micro details that kind of hang out in the soundstage in a three-dimensional way. Soundstage just forward of the speakers and then pushes way back. Really good in-room projection, not unlike the 6.2. But I tell you what, that low-level listening thing for me was a really interesting and eye-opener for me, because I've always kind of believed that in order to really get good low-level listening, you had to have ultra-high sensitive speakers, and just really something that was easy to drive and effortless to kind of get to that low-level kind of space. But these kind of made me rethink that. So anyway, we'll do a full review when I get my studio set up. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys today and give you a little shout out and a little teaser on these. So Radiant Acoustic 4.2, 6.2s. That's the old ones. The new 4.2 little minis. These things are tiny. Oh my God, these things are crazy. So anyway, I'll post some other stuff about them, but get in our Discord. We're really talking about them in there. All right, see you guys later.